After this movie, I just want Alicia Vikander's bow and arrow and her autograph, because she is epic in this movie and hot. Tomb Raider, directed by Roar Uthorg, and is the 2018 reboot of the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies, as well as the third movie adaptation of the video game franchise Tomb Raider, which I've played. So Tomb Raider tells the story of Lara Croft, whose father is presumed deceased, but she discovers clues to her father's whereabouts, so with the help of her sidekicks, she goes on this thrilling Indiana Jones-esque action-adventure to a secret island, to a tomb, thus the title of our movie, Tomb Raider, to rescue her father and even face a villain and become the biggest freaking badass of the year. Now, this movie's based on the 2013 video game of Tomb Raider, whereas the Angelina Jolie movies from the 2000s were based on the original Tomb Raider video games, and honestly, I couldn't care less about them. Angelina Jolie's Lara Croft was super one-note and boring and invincible. She had no character. I get the hate for video game movies since half the time they are terribly executed. For example, Resident Evil, the final chapter last year. Oh, fuck that movie. That was one of the 10 worst movies to air on the big screen in 2017. So it's okay if your expectations for this version of the Tomb Raider were like this low. I mean, a good video game movie is rare nowadays, and shitty video game movie adaptations are all too common, and even if I had optimism that this could be at least a decent video game movie. And do you know what? Tomb Raider is so good. It's not. This Tomb Raider is vastly superior to both Angelina Jolie Tomb Raiders combined in every conceivable way. And fuck, that's 51% on Rotten Tomatoes. How the heck does Peter Rabbit have a more positive critical reception than Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider deserves the positive reviews, critics, not Peter Rabbit. I suppose critics are just hating this movie deliberately and purposely just because it's classified as a video game movie. Critics, just because it's a movie based on a video game, and video game movies haven't had the best track record, that doesn't automatically confirm it as a failure. Video game movies can be good, if not great, if done right, and Tomb Raider, this version anyway, is an example of that, and this I am thankful that this is going to be a positive review. So on with the positives. Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft. This is honestly the greatest performance of 2017 so far. Sorry, Angelina Jolie, move over, Angelina, because Alicia Vikander, she's electrifying as Lara Croft, and the naysayers who doubted her don't want to admit anymore that they doubted her after seeing this movie. She is Lara Croft. This is not just the greatest performance of 2018 overall, but one of the 5 best, most perfect casting decisions of all time. She is Lara Croft. She's epic, to perfectly describe her. She isn't just a epic badass. She actually it goes on an epic and thrilling journey and emotional journey. She can get injured. She has emotions, and she after she doesn't have a choice but to kill her first person in self-defense on her quest to find her father. She just breaks down because I don't blame her. If I was forced to kill somebody in self-defense, I'd turn myself in. If I was her sidekick in this movie, I'd just want to hug her and go, "It's okay, sweetie. You didn't have a choice. It's okay if it's just self-defense." But after the first kill, she has no problem with killing in self-defense for the rest of the movie. And Alicia Vikander's Lara Croft has become one of my personal favourite movie protagonists. Whenever she kicks some ass, everybody in my screening applauses. Yes, she is a protagonist who you'd love to be like her. You'd love to be her sidekick. I wish I was her sidekick on her journey. And father and daughter relationship between Lara and her father is powerfully executed here. The fact that Laura would cross the entire Earth just to rescue her father goes to show how close her and her father are, and how their storyline does get resolved in the climax is similar to the climax of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I won't spoil anything. I'm just saying it's similar, but I actually felt that the way they handled this climax, they handled it even better than Last Crusade, since that didn't bother me. I never considered that a rip-off, since Last Crusade is my least favourite of the original Indiana Jones trilogy. Please don't hurt me. It's still a masterpiece in comparison to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, yeah, but I never considered the climax of this movie a rip-off of Last Crusade, unlike some. And the plot of this movie is a simplistic Indiana Jones-esque action-adventure, but that was the entire plot of the video game. And do you know what? This movie doesn't require the most deepest or thought-provoking, almost complicated storyline in the world, because you just came to see Lara Croft on an action adventure, and Lara's relationship with her father and her growing throughout the movie is plenty of heart for me to go along with the awesome action. The action sequences in this movie in the second half, once she arrives in the jungle and the tomb, are fabulous. Watching the action in this movie, I was like, they nailed it. They captured the magic of what made the game super enjoyable. And thankfully, the movie doesn't just abruptly end. It actually has multiple endings and epilogues to give this story the worthy closure it deserves. Although, guys, is this movie perfect? Sadly, not exactly. So let's get to my minor negatives. Nearly the entire first act and first half of this movie consists of Nearly the entire first act and first half of this movie is handled with exposition of people explaining things to Lara. And I'm like, I'm aware it can't all be action, but the movie could have easily have found a more thrilling way of getting Lara to her destination. The pure fun doesn't begin until Lara gets to the island, and to describe the characters of her male love interest and the villain, what a yawn! They were dull as dishwater. I'm like, did this movie even need an antagonist? Couldn't the jungle and the tomb itself have been the antagonist for Lara? Now, but those flaws are ever so minor, they don't hold back from the movie's overall greatness, so ladies and gentlemen, go and see Tomb Raider, it's wonderful. I'd take it over the rest of the video game movies that have ever been made any day. I'm going to forget about the Angelina Jolie movies now, because this is the Tomb Raider movie we deserve. This is now my favourite video game movie, period. And Raw Oof Mag, you are one solid director. Great job, Buzzy. I would love to see a Tomb Raider become a trilogy, because the Angelina Jolie movies had 2. Alicia Vikander deserves 3. And are there any other video gamers I'd love to see transformed into a movie? Sure. A Grand Theft Auto movie, for example, because Grand Theft Auto 5 is my personal favourite video game. I give Tomb Raider 4 stars out of 5. Great movie. This movie's underrated. It deserves to be a box office hit, and that should warrant it a sequel, and fingers crossed, a trilogy. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. What do you think of Tomb Raider? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and on Google Plus and on Instagram. And I'll see you all next time. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.